Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to discuss about Cambridge A-level physics, chapter 1, Kinematics, describing motion. In this chapter, we learned about distance time graph first. The graph of distance against time are used to represent the motion of an object. Distance is plotted on the y-axis, vertical axis, and time is plotted on the x-axis, horizontal axis. Remember, when we plot a graph, then we must put the independent variable in x-axis. So remember, when we plot a graph, say there are two axes, x-axis, horizontal axis, and vertical axis, y-axis. Uh, X-axis must be independent variable. Independent then variable. And y-axis must be dependent variable. Dependent variable. In distance time graph, distance is the dependent variable and time is the independent variable. So distance is plotted on the y-axis and time is plotted on the x-axis. In a distance time graph, a stationary object is represented by a horizontal line. So if distance time graph, distance time graph is has a horizontal line, so it means distance does not change with time. So the horizontal line, uh, uh, horizontal line represents the object is stationary. So at rest or stationary. An object moving at constant speed is represented by a straight line, sloping line. So if any object moves with constant speed, then the distance time graph will be a sloping line, straight line. So constant speed, because the gradient of the distance time graph, gradient of the distance time graph is the speed gradient. So gradient of distance time graph equal to speed. Why? We know gradient equal to gradient. How we can calculate gradient? Gradient equal to rise by run. Rise by run. In this graph, distance time graph, rise means change in distance and run means change in time. That's why we know speed equal to distance moved divided by time taken. So the gradient of the line is equal to the distance traveled divided by time taken. So remember, speed equal to gradient of the distance time graph. And how we can calculate this gradient? Gradient is equal to rise by run. So change in distance by change in time. Look this graph. Look at the graph. Here it is a distance time graph. If we want to calculate the speed, then we have to calculate the gradient. So gradient of the distance time graph. Gradient. So how we can calculate gradient? Here, uh, rise by run. Look at the graph. Here rise is 1800 meter, 1800 meter, and run is 90 second, 90 second. So uh, 20 meter per second is the speed, meter per second is the speed. So 20 meter per second is the speed. So speed equal to average speed equal to total distance divided by total time. So average speed equal to total distance divided by total time. V average speed or speed is denoted by V, this d by t. D is the distance, t is the time.